Hello and welcome to Crypto News. Today is March 30th, 2025, and the top crypto news is as follows. Now, moving on to FTX, we have learned that payments will start on May 30th. Specifically, we are talking about large payments exceeding $50,000 to beneficiaries, with no set limit. As we have mentioned before, some of this money may find its way into the crypto market. Next, we turn to the United Arab Emirates, which has announced that its digital dirham will be released on Q4 2025. Shortly after this announcement, we learned that Sonic Labs is abandoning its algorithmic stablecoin project to focus on developing the UAE's digital dirham. As Mr. Andre himself stated, they will no longer release an algorithmic stablecoin based on the dollar. Instead, they will issue a mathematically backed digital dirham, which will be pegged to the US dollar. In essence, it will function like Tether, supported by traditional dollars, and will not be an algorithmic stablecoin. This is great news for Sonic, as it will now support the stablecoin of a robust economy. Staying in the region, Abu Dhabi's Free Economic Zone has signed a memorandum of cooperation with Chainlink. This zone manages assets worth over $635 billion and has entered into this partnership to bridge the gap between traditional finance and blockchain data. At this point, we don't have specific details about how this cooperation will unfold, but this is undoubtedly good news for Chainlink, if we consider that Chainlink is already a strong choice for tokenization, something they want in Dubai. This partnership could be quite significant. Additionally, crypto adoption in the UAE is growing rapidly. According to recent data, the country has seen a 41% increase in crypto-related apps. In 2023, 6.2 million crypto-related apps were installed, while in 2024, that number jumped to over 15 million. This is certainly positive news for Sonic and Chainlink, as they are aligning with an economy that is making a strong entry into the crypto market. Now, moving on to other currencies, the EOS network is undergoing a rebranding and will now be called Vaulta. It is also expected to integrate with banking institutions. Originally launched in 2018, EOS Network is transitioning to Vaulta, positioning itself as a competitor to XRP in the Web3 banking sector. The transition is scheduled for the end of May and will introduce a new consulting team. Once this happens, EOS will be discontinued, and Vaulta will take its place as a currency. Vaulta will be available across 140 crypto platforms, both centralized and decentralized. More details about the new token will be released over time, and a so-called exchange gate will allow EOS holders to swap their tokens for Vaulta. In major exchanges such as Binance and Bybit, this conversion will likely happen automatically, as has been the case with other transitions like Feti AI and Sonic. However, this is just a crypto news speculation, and we don't have an official statement on the matter yet. Finally, turning to Ethereum, Mr. Vitalik Buterin has proposed a new roadmap for Ethereum Layer 2 solutions. This roadmap primarily focuses on improving security, reducing finality, and enhancing scalability. It is worth noting that Mr. Buterin is the founder of Ethereum, which operates as a Layer 1 blockchain. Some argue that his focus should remain on Ethereum's base layer, as Layer 2 networks operate independently and do not necessarily require his direct intervention. However, if we consider Mr. Vitalik's suggestion, on X, the website does not open, so based on what another user has pointed out on X, it highlights that Ethereum's Layer 2 solutions could significantly reduce finality time using mechanisms like ZK and optimized. This is a critical development because finality ensures that once a transaction is recorded on the blockchain, it becomes immutable and its validity is guaranteed. So this is a very important number because some blockchains essentially claim that they process transactions every second. However, their finality actually takes place once every 10 years. As a result, until then, the transaction can still be affected. So the number that interests us when researching cryptos is mainly related to how fast their finality is, rather than how fast their transactions are. Essentially, we are more interested in finality because it ensures the validity of transactions and guarantees that nothing will change, which is the fundamental essence of blockchain. After we finish with Mr. Vitalik, we'll move on to Dogecoin, which is also evolving as a reserve. Specifically, House of Doge has 10 million Doge, worth approximately $1.83 million, to back the leading meme coin as a legal tender for businesses and global consumers. It is run by House of Doge, a newly formed entity created to drive Dogecoin adoption through corporate deals and partnerships. Rather than maintaining its distinction as an antithesis to economic uncertainty, something we hope Bitcoin will be, Dogecoin will function as a liquidity pool to facilitate transactions for global traders. Moving on, it's time to check the crypto market, with Bitcoin standing at $83,000. The price has remained relatively stable due to the weekend, as is commonly known. That wraps up the top news for crypto. Today is March 30th, 2025. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.